what's happening now with CNI Solutions. As always, remember to like, share, and comment. We did have some bad weather come through here today, so our producer is still trying to work on our sounds. So if our sound is not coming through, please feel free to message us through the message board. Let us know because we had to reset a lot of things. Coming up for CNI Solutions, we had a huge summer event. A lot of things went through. We had the Braidathon, we had lunch and learns. A lot of those took place. And going into the fall, there's going to be a lot of things we got going on. We're going to be starting up our next entrepreneur class. That's going to be starting here in September. So if you hadn't had a chance to get signed up or find out about it, go ahead, please do so at this time, as we will be doing that class. And it's going to be a special class because we're looking to do a little bit of something different. We're going to be working a lot with the HBCUs here in the Huntsville, Alabama area. So if you hadn't had a chance to sign up, go ahead and please sign up. So tonight's guest, we got someone here special. She was also a Braidathon braider like this, but she's here to talk a little bit about, is it Farusha? Farusha. Miss Crystal Hernat.
Crystal Harriet.
Yes. All right. Welcome, ma'am. Welcome.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit. We already know that you have an outstanding knack to braid hair because you've proven that. But you have something a little bit more that you do that you're a little bit more involved with. And what is that?
Well, I am a holistic doula. I'm a reproductive coach. I help women pretty much tend to reproductive needs like wellness, illnesses, diseases, just anything reproductive related the holistic way. So on my drive and passion with helping women as a holistic doula, I dove into natural birth controls. So what I did was use God-made ingredients, mixed them together with a little bit of research, and created a spermicide lubricant that's used intravaginally to prevent pregnancy.
So what you're saying is you've discovered or you've found out that there's a natural spermicide that an individual can use other than going to the pharmacy and asking for something like this. They can actually purchase something on their own naturally.
So over-the-counter spermicides you're not going to have over-the-counter spermicides that is like the Farusha Miami. Over-the-counter spermicides is going to be created with ingredients that are spermicidal benefits or have spermicidal effects, but it's not an actual spermicide. Like you have saponicides or you have quinines. Those are like over-the-counter chemicals that are used for other products in pharmaceutical industries that have spermicidal effects. So that is what you can buy over-the-counter. A common spermicide that is used over-the-counter in a store is called naloxone 9. So that is like pharmaceutical spermicide. What I made and what I discovered was neem oil, which is an Indian plant. It's a tree where you can use the nut, the seeds, and the leaves to create an oil. Neem is a pesticide and a spermicide. So that was the discovery. What I did was pair it with other ingredients, herbs, and oils that I feel work together and synergistically to create a spermicide lubricant that is safe to use intravaginally for women who are sensitive in that area.
Okay, wonderful. I took a little dive into your website and it was there's a lot of stuff going on in there.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about, what it is that you have there and that you're offering to the community and to particularly the women?
So the Farusha brand is an umbrella company that pretty much houses all creativity towards divine femininity. So you have Farusha Cooks, where I prepare plant-based meals and share this with my audience. I'll do meal prepping. Sometimes I'll get a bunch of food, I'll cook, and I'll just give the food away as my investment into the world, into the universe. You have Farusha Cares. That's my plant-based skincare line where I create everything. Like I said, God-made ingredients. These are not white label products. I hand created. I research every ingredient specifically for its use. You have Farusha Closet, which is my culturally inspired bohemian boutique. And then you have, Farusha Cares, Farusha Closet, Farusha Cooks, and then you have Farusha the Doula. So those are my doula services where I teach about reproductive wellness, natural birth control, different remedies that our Native American ancestors used as birth control before we had these medical institutions that are in place right now.
So what got you started on this pathway? I mean, you seem very, very passionate about it.
Mm-hmm.
I viewed your website, and I know we got some stuff here later on. We're gonna ask the producer to go ahead and share with all of our viewers. And again, viewers, those who are watching right now, if the sound quality is not come through, please let us know so that we can go ahead and fix that, because we did have a storm come through, and a lot of our systems were offline, so we had to reset everything. But what drove this passion for you? What was it?
So, okay, so originally I'm from Miami.
Okay.
And the end of 2010, December 27, 2010, my family and I relocated from Miami to Tuscaloosa, Alabama. So in that time, me and my family, we felt really out of place. And I feel like that sparked a lot of unfamiliar things that probably was going on with me that I didn't realize was going on with me. And after we left Tuscaloosa, we moved to Memphis. But because I graduated high school in Alabama, I had to come back to Huntsville, Alabama for college. I went to Alabama A&M University. So during this time when I graduated high school and between my first year of college, I was having these nightmares about my mom dying of cancer. And really, you have this long childhood of me seeing my mom in and out the hospital, bleeding out, fainting, screaming. It was just traumatic. I felt like something was eventually going to happen to my mom because I seen her in the hospital so much. And I knew that all of her problems were reproductive related. You know, my mom was 23 with 3 children. Each child that she had was a cesarean, and she was really young. So me having those nightmares aligned me with people who were studying Dr. Sebi and people who were on the track of veganism and plant-based eating to heal their body. So me just crossing paths with this, doing my own research, I decided, okay, if I want to help my mother, I have to be the inspiration and do what needs to be done so that she can see that it can be done, instead of allowing her fears to deter her from helping herself, because I just can't lose my mom, Mr. Charles.
Oh, I know that feeling. I know that feeling. So this great passion you have, and how is the public, how is your customer taking it? Because for often we are victims to the norms. We normally have to go to see a doctor. We normally have to go to a pharmacist for this. And so now in the 2020, since 2020, 2023, there has been a lot more traction going towards natural products, herbal holistic products. Even with the hair care now, people are trying to do a lot more holistic stuff there. I'm seeing a lot more people doing holistic healing, teas, different plants stuff. Is that becoming an issue, a fight with you, or are you having people trying to fight against you, saying, why are you trying to introduce this like this? We got something, or is it being accepted with open arms?
Well, Mr. Charles, you're going to always have people who just want to fight against you because you're doing something that's outside of the norm. You have many people who are stuck in their ways, but my information and things that I teach and what I'm doing resonate with many people, because in my first year of business, this natural birth control was international. Before I hit retail stores, it was outside of the U.S. in retail stores. First place was the U.S. Virgin Islands, you know. So I had this lady, she reached out to me. She spent $1,000 in my young brand buying my products because of how I teach what I teach, me being knowledgeable about my products and able to sell my product, and my overall goal. So, you know, it's like people, they're either shopping because it's a problem that I'm solving, or it's some type of emotional fulfillment that they get out of pouring into my brand. So me starting this brand and going into this, I've had a lot of negative publicity, but also positive publicity. Like recently, I had NBC news reporter reach out to me to do an interview, but she wanted me to do it anonymous. Anonymous. Why would I do it anonymous? I just left home red because it just seemed weird to me. Like, I'm a growing brand. Why would I do an anonymous interview? Anonymous interview on NBC News. Like, what? So she wanted to talk about natural abortion because I started getting a lot of attention on TikTok. So I had a video go viral about me telling my followers to use vitamin C to help bring on their menstrual cycle. A lot of the information that I have shared has been misconstrued as me promoting natural abortions. And I just wanted to be clear that that is not what I do. So what I teach my audience is that between conception, which is intercourse, and at the time of fertilization, implantation, not fertilization, but implantation, there's a window in which women can partake into using vitamin C, drinking certain herbs that'll help bring on their period, which are called emmenagogues, menstrual promoters. So using menstrual promoters, between that window can decrease your chances of getting a positive pregnancy test. So say for instance, if a woman hasn't taken a pregnancy test yet, and she may feel like she might have fertilized, going through fertilization, you have implantation preventers. This is what the Indian women from the Quinault tribe used, to prevent pregnancy, and also there were herbs to sterilize them. So you have menstrual promoters, you have implantation preventers, you have sterility herbs, and you have uterine contractors. So this is all natural birth control that's grouped towards whatever effect it has on the body. So a lot of people like to group birth control all together because of the products that we're used to using from pharmaceutical companies. Natural birth control works differently. So this is the Myemo works against fertilization, so that the sperm does not fertilize the egg. This is not going to help if it's already fertilized and the egg has implanted. So you have to know what to use, when to use it. So trying to get my audience to understand this and also know the importance of how to use herbs is very important to me. So I have been very limited with the information and how I give it, because you can't abuse herbs. This is still God, you know what I mean? So you have to know how to treat the temple correctly, understand and communicate with the temple correctly before using strong things like, Don Quai or black cohosh to terminate what might be that you are not sure of. You see what I mean? So a lot of my information has been misconstrued for natural abortion, which is not. It's reproductive knowledge that all women need. And I've been getting, people like, oh, you're going to go to jail. I'm going to buy your products just to see you go to jail. I'm going to buy this just so I can sue you. Come on now. Come on now. Keep coming on my videos so I can stay relevant.
So hey, audience, those who are viewing, again, please remember to like, share, and comment on this. If there's any information that you have or any questions that you have, please put them in the chat. Our producer will get them to us. I'm see if I can get our producer to go ahead and bring up some of those slides that we have here. Let's see. The first one we got there is of course, that's a picture of you from the website. That's a lovely photo that you took. So the next one, let's talk about this slide right here. So right there, you're getting all this from the National Library of Medicine, and it is talking about the tree that you were just speaking of. So talk to me a little bit. What is that going to do for us?
Well, the tree.
What does that tree do? What can we get from that tree?
From the neem or
the neem tree?
Okay,
correct.
So what you would do is get the seeds and the leaves and create an oil, and this oil becomes concentrated. The concentrated neem is an active spermicide that will prevent pregnancy.
Okay.
So many people buy concentrated versions of neem, and you can dilute it with something else to use to prevent pregnancy. A lot of people can't get past the smell of neem because it's very strong. Reason why I created the Myemo with other flowers, so that it can have a subtle earthy smell, so it don't interrupt the senses or bother the senses during intercourse.
Okay. And then I think you're on a couple of these other slides. Producer, can you go to that next slide, please? This is the neem you talk about the oil for the morning after. And is there? This was from the this information came straight from the the National Library of Medicine. If someone was to read this, could they correctly use it, or would they still need someone from you, some directions on what you have to do?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Because you have people who are not responsibly using these products, and if you don't fully know what it is that you're doing, you can cause other mishaps in the body that can potentially be fatal. Now, I'm not saying that neem oil can kill someone if you use it, but you have people who want to swallow neem oil. You can overdose on anything. You can create a toxic environment using too much of anything, even water. So me personally, I teach my audience to use neem at the time of interception, not the morning after, because it's a spermicide. It's supposed to kill sperm. You know what I mean? Which it can still be active, but if you have someone who is during their active childbearing years, mate with a partner who is during their active childbearing years, the fertility rates between both of them may be so high that using this the morning after, that fertilized egg, if fertilized, may be stubborn. And be like, no, I'm here to stay. You should have been quicker than that.
Outstanding. I appreciate that, producer. So, what all? I see you brought some stuff here with you. What is this that you have before me, in front of me? What is this?
So this is the Miami jar. You can find this at all Huntsville Hair Queen locations. Okay. It comes with a lubricant applicator. You use this before intercourse to prevent pregnancy when using it as a natural birth control. But the greatest thing about the Farusha Miami is, like I said, it's God-made ingredients. So with the carrier oil being coconut oil, this is good for lubrication. I have a lot of elderly women who don't need a natural birth control, but during menopausal years, they deal with vaginal dryness. I've had many women come to me like, Farusha, you saved my life. You brought life back into my relationship where I thought it was potentially dead, because it's herbs like sarsaparilla and the Farusha Miami that helps with vaginal lubrication, So this is a sex stimulator. So people who, enjoy sex with their partner who's very intimate, this can have you going longer than normal. This can, increase your sexual libido and enhance your arousal just because of the oily content of the product.
So I was going to ask, in most cases, one would say, one can argue, why would I want to buy that one? I can just get KY,
Well, KY is water-based. This, again, is a natural birth control. This is coconut oil-based. This is made with God-made ingredients, KNY gel. I'm not sure what the ingredients are, but I know for a fact the ingredients in this I can pronounce and anyone can pronounce. And it's herbs and flowers that you and I have heard of. Oregano, rosemary, sarsaparilla, lavender, what else? Tea tree. That's what's in the Farusha Miami.
So this product you said is actually in a couple of the stores here in the Huntsville area, and someone can actually in this area go buy it. Do you ship to other states?
Yes, okay. I do. Right. So I sell my products online, and it's sold in Huntsville in stores. Okay. So my main traffic comes to the Farusha HB website. So I ship international, like I just shipped to Switzerland. My products go a lot of places in Europe. Believe it or not, with me being a Black-owned business, a huge amount of my customers are not Black.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Is it because you target them, or is it because your product seems to be more acceptable to them than to the
think
African American?
That my people are apprehensive with everything. I feel like when it comes to holistic, herbal, naturopathic, I feel like my people are not educated in this area, whereas, other races or ethnicities may be educated probably through culture, through tradition, through just them being knowledgeable and pass down information. My people, we getting in there. We're getting in there.
So is there a are you planning on having a brick and mortar one day where someone can walk in and see all of your products and perhaps even get a chance to speak with you personally, to talk to them about what I got going on? What do you recommend?
Currently, I have a hair shop where I do braids.
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing hair for nearly 20 years, but I don't want to do hair forever.
Right.
So where I do hair, I have my products stacked up, but it's not a brick and mortar where you can walk in and, shop. I mean, you can, but
Right.
it's what I call charge ups for when my clients are sitting down and they just looking at my products for an hour while I do their hair. It's easy to, mark sell up. So, that's that. Honestly, I don't want to open a store just selling my products. I actually want to work with other businesses that have brick and mortars to sell my products. So I'm actually already doing what I want to do with my products, which is sell it in other establishments, not have my own, so that I could be flexible and be able to move around.
Okay. Have you ventured out into other states to get it into their stores, like or not even other states, but other towns? I know we're in Huntsville. Have you go to Birmingham or Decatur or Athens? Have you tried getting into there yet?
I've done a couple of vending events in Birmingham, but I haven't developed a strong network in Birmingham as of yet, but that's in process. Right now I am working with someone at a vegan grocery store in Atlanta about getting my products there. And then in Miami, I have numerous, people who have connections and affiliations that can get my products on the shelves. But my main goal right now, because I live in Huntsville, is to make sure my brand is a household name in Huntsville before I go and branch off.
Right.
So that's
okay.
Right
And we even here at C9 Solutions, folks, we always tell everybody, hey, start small, like this before you jump into it. It's always the wise thing to do it that way.
Right.
So is there any plans to bring on partners? Are you going to keep this by yourself? Or are you going to try to get partners?
Keep it by myself.
Keep it by yourself?
The thing is, Mr. Charles, nobody's going to be able to sell this product like me.
Correct.
I chose each ingredient specifically for a specific use. You see what I'm saying? So I'm going to be able to tell someone, here, you can use this if you have trichomoniasis because it's oregano in it, and oregano is anti-parasitic.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? A person will have to, for me to bring somebody on, they got to study my brand.
Right.
A lot of times in the past with me wanting to partner up with people, they want to kind of change what I already have going on. So being that I'm already so invested and have gotten this far, you won't have to just jump on the train. You know what I mean? So you wouldn't even be a partner. You might be an employee.
I noticed that you had an interview, or appeared to be an interview on the OWN network. How was that?
So I was on a Love and Marriage Huntsville reality show, and I was just, networking, working the room like I always do at vending events. And I was talking to Martell about my product, and he was interested. He and a couple of other cast members were interested in my product. So on the show that was aired, they took a clip of our conversation, and he was saying, "Oh, I should have found out about this a long time ago." So, yeah.
That is excellent. That is excellent. I love what you're doing. Now, you talked about, I guess you're doing TikTok, you're on social media, and you're doing different things like that. And you talked about you try to educate your viewers, your audience. Do you offer classes? Do you offer classes where someone say, hey, Thursday night, we're doing a class down at such and such. Please come down and we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about this particular spermicide. We're going to talk about hemp, whatever it is. Do you offer anything like that?
As of now, I have had 3 webinars teaching about natural birth control and prevention herbs. And, even giving information to women who are pregnant and getting ready for birth and delivery, how these same herbs that you use to prevent pregnancy or to terminate a pregnancy can also be used when a woman is already in active labor. Did you understand that?
Yeah.
So the same herbs you use to prevent a pregnancy, the same birth control herbs you use to prevent a pregnancy can help a woman progress a stagnant labor, but she has to already be in active labor.
Right.
So I teach this on webinars. I'm actually planning to have another webinar the first Sunday in September, and I plan to have a in-person class here in Huntsville. So it's actually in the thought process right now. I have my assistant helping me put it together so that I can do it. So yeah.
Well, you definitely need to let us know here at C9 Solutions when that's going to happen, so we could be in the audience and present to learn more about that, because it's like you said, education is the key, and
Right.
and we're always afraid of something that we don't know anything about.
Right.
It's kind of like when those who are wanting to start a business and get into the business world and become entrepreneurs, I tell them all the time, if you mitigate your fear, then you don't have to be fearful when you get ready to start. So I'm really interested to learn more about this and to understand that, so I can be educated, so then I can educate some of the viewers or the next person that comes by and says, well, I was really thinking about this, but I really don't know. I said, well, let me tell you. I actually went to a webinar and I spoke with a young lady who was very, very intelligent on that, and gave me some good advice, some good information that you can use. So I think that is key. I really like that idea of you setting that up.
So you want me to tell you a secret?
Tell me a secret. Go ahead.
The Farusha Mayemo is a male birth control.
Huh?
It's a spermicide. Spermicide is for men or women.
So, but why is it being sold for the women?
Because it's an intravaginal spermicide. So you put it inside of the vagina before the sperm is present. The sperm has to smell the neem so that it can eradicate sperm life. So I before I was offering the applicators,
right,
I was saying massage your partner.
Okay.
Yes. So it can be inside, during intercourse. But with me furthering my studies and mastering my product, understanding my product, every case study that I have read, the doctors who have made a synergistic concoction with neem have said that it's most effective when placed intravaginal, as close to the cervix as possible. So when they did the human trial in 1994 with Canadian doctor and the United States doctor, I sent that case study to you. They did a trial on rats and humans, and it was 100% effective.
Wow.
100%. But if you look up spermicides right now, it's going to say between 79 and 89% effective. But the case study with the neem seed extract, the quinine, and the saponins, that was 100% effective. That it immediately eradicated sperm life within 20 seconds.
Wow. 20 seconds. Earlier you mentioned about vitamin C. Now, are we talking natural vitamin C, or can I go down here to Walmart and get me a bottle of vitamin C pills
emergency?
Like that? Right. Is that the same thing?
It is. So the thing is with vitamin C, emergency vitamin C, you notice the fine print on it says you can't take over a certain amount per day.
Right.
You can use that. But the thing about God-made vitamin C, you can't overdose. You know what I mean? You can't overdose. When using vitamin C to bring on your period, you want to keep taking it until you start seeing blood. And you have to stay hydrated. You have to, drink your water, because you don't want to send your body into acidic shock, because it is vitamin C. You know what I mean? So orange juice, pineapple juice, papaya seeds, your berries, all the vitamin C fruits. OD.
And this is where I think this education is going to come in play, because for a viewer out there watching this, or whoever might be watching this, and they're saying, oh, she said just take vitamin C. And so now they're going out and they're grabbing all these oranges or papayas and watermelon, and they're just chowing down. How do they know how much is enough? What's that limit? Do I have to do a whole watermelon by myself? Or is it 4 oranges and a papaya? How do I know enough's enough?
So remember when I said, when using natural birth control, you have to be in tune with your body and communicate with your body. You're going to know enough is enough, because your body going to say, if you put some more inside of me, I'm going to make you throw up. You know what I mean? So you're going to reach your limit, because your body's going to say, okay, enough. Start again tomorrow. And normally when people use the vitamin C method to bring on their menstrual cycle, it don't take longer than 2 days. And their cycle come right on. I've tried it. I had a scare, and I was like, you know what? I'm celibate.
Right. Outstanding. Hey, I tell you what, this has been interesting. Is there anything that you wanted to say to bring out? I see you got some notes there.
I do. So I pretty much wanted to talk about the case study, because remember how you were saying that, how do I get my audience to engage or trust the information it is that I'm sharing? What got my audience to engage and follow me was me sharing case studies. Because at first it's like, this girl is crazy. She's making up stuff. You're going to get sued. A lot of what I was saying, I paraphrased into layman terms so people could be able to understand what I'm saying. And they're like, oh, it just don't sound medical. It don't sound trusted. So when I started doing a green screen and reading from case studies, I have case studies from 2001, case studies from 1994. I have case studies from 1980s. They've been trying to find reproductive wellness is a huge business here.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I feel like with the NBC News reporter, when she reached out to me, her intentions were not good because I am not trying to go against big pharma when it comes to reproductive wellness. You know what I mean? And I know population control is something that's really big going on, especially with a lot of politicians. I'm not trying to get in the mix with that. I was teaching about this before the Roe versus Wade decision was made. Right. So what I have been doing is using the case studies to show people that, listen, they had this from 1994. This is since 2001. They have been using products to naturally prevent pregnancy without abortions. You see what I'm saying? I'm not trying to interfere in that business. I kind of want to get in on the business. You know what I mean? But here it is. I got something that's natural because, like you said, we're evolving into holistic living. You know what I mean? So if Big Pharma want to come sit down at the table with me here, you could have it. Let's talk numbers because that's my goal. You know, eventually I want to sell it. I want to sell it for the right number.
The right number?
The right number. I don't put a lot into this.
So are you the only person here in this area who is working with these natural products when it comes to birth control?
No, I know many people. I know many women who are into natural products. If you want to say like natural birth control, I feel like almost everybody uses natural birth control. Natural birth control is pull-out method. Natural birth control is tracking your fertility. Watching the calendar, you have women who use a thermometer to check their basal temperature. You know, when you use a thermometer, the day that you're the hottest or your temperature is the highest in the month, that's the day you're most fertile. So every day in the month, your temperature is going to be around the same number. The days when that number is accelerated, that's your fertility window, you know?
Wow. Amazing.
So natural birth control is pretty common. It's when we're using herbs and we're putting it together and making stuff like this, they get a little scared.
Outstanding. Hey, I tell you what, Crystal, this has been amazing and learning so much about natural products that I didn't know about. And I'm really interested in waiting for this seminar to come out so that I can be in that audience to learn more because it's all about education. As I think one of the influencers consciously says, you know, education's elevation like this. And I'm always trying to elevate myself to better myself. Is there anything you would like to say before we proceed to close?
What did I have? I really just took some notes on one of my favorite case studies. And let me see. I talked about everything. Saponins, quinine, immobilized 100% human sperm, 20 seconds of contact. This study shows how reduced synergistic concentration perform the same results. So in the 1994 case study, they used the same synergistic combination and they lowered the concentration to see if it would give the same results, and it did. That's why the 1994 one with the Canadian doctor, that was my favorite. That was a national.
For someone who wants to get in contact with you to learn more, how can they reach you?
The fastest way to reach me is by email, info@farushahb.com. I normally email back faster, but, you know, engaging with me on all social media networks. Right now, my biggest platform is TikTok, and I try to, you know, engage my audience because they're very curious. They do want to know more. Based on what I've shared so far, you know, with me just, you know, pushing my brand, I feel like I've gained a big audience and they have followed me like on Facebook and to Instagram. Still trying to build Instagram, but I've been shadow banned for a long time right now. But, you know, we're going to work through that. Small things to a giant.
Right. Hey, well, I appreciate you coming in this evening and spending time with us and talking to us about your product and your business and what you got going on. And we do look forward to seeing more of you and hearing more about you here in the near future, especially for those classes coming up, so that I can put that word out and let everybody know where it's going to be, time and place and date, so they can be in presence for that. All right.
Thank you. One more thing. Yes. May 18, 2024 is the Miss Pretty Poem Feminine Wellness Expo. I was telling you about that at the interview with Hair Queen. So I'm bringing an expo where I'm going to connect with other female-owned businesses that have something to invest in the female self-care, mental care, any type of care into one location. So we've secured our event. It's May 18, 2024. It's called Miss Pretty Pump. So my target audience is mothers and daughters, fathers and daughters, somehow to bridge the gap with the sex talk, birds and the bees, and have, parents understand why it may be difficult for a child to talk, or how, children or teenagers can understand how to approach their parents with these conversations so that they don't learn in the streets. This would be a conversation at home first. And this idea came from my mom. I was a girl who started my menstrual cycle when I was 9 years old, and my mom was freaking me. Crystal, somebody touching you. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I thought I just hit myself too hard on the toilet. I'm like, what is going on? So her conversations with me and my siblings helped us, not only establish a comfortable bridge with my mom with talking about our sex life, but also, help us understand things like you don't want to be too active, especially growing up in Miami. You don't want to be too active and you end up with something that you can't prevent. At the time, that was her way of scaring us out of not doing we ain't got no business doing.
Right.
And my mom gave us our freedom. She wasn't on us watching every little move we made. She'd go out, make sure you be home by the street lights.
All right. Thank you.
Yes.
Hey, we appreciate you coming in. We love the conversation. We love the information that you have. And again, hopefully when you got new products coming out, new things come out, we'd love to have you come back and talk a little bit more about that. Hey, for those who are watching, those who are viewing this, who's going to be viewing this at a later date, please take time to share and view this broadcast with others. Comment. Crystal put her information into it. We'll make sure you get her information as well. And always remember, your yesterday is not your today, and your today is not your tomorrow. Good night.